Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. This is Joe the 50-something Dasher and another day in the books of my DoorDash driving. I'm going to go over everything I did for December 6, 2025. It's a Saturday, pretty challenging day. And, and as you can maybe tell from the title of the video already, but anyway, so wanted to follow up on, in case you missed last night's video, you might want to check it out. It's where I got this offer from Uber to do some orders with them next week, and if I met certain criteria, I'd get an extra $250. Okay, so I rattled off in that video a couple different strategies that I thought about, and then I come up with another one this morning. So, okay, so here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do this challenge or whatever. Okay, so here's what I come up with. You guys see what you think. Monday morning, I'll plan on just doing Uber. Okay, I'll log in at 7 o'clock instead of my normal 6, and you'll see why here in a minute. So 7 a.m. and then I'll just plan on whichever comes first Monday. I'll work exclusively Uber, whichever comes first. 18 deliveries or my normal $150 or 3:30 p.m. and then I'll stop. If I haven't met the criteria to get that 250 on Monday, then I'll log in 7 a.m. on Tuesday and however many orders I need to do on Tuesday. And just knock it out as soon as I can. Okay, that's what I'm initially thinking. Okay, I log in this morning at 6 o'clock. Get a $10 15-mile Jolly Pirate. Not interested. Okay. Then I turn on Uber, and you see here over 20 minutes goes by, crickets. Okay. So this thought process here this morning was, okay, well, if it's going to be slow until 7 o'clock, let's turn on Uber. Until Monday, I can't do anything about the 15 deliveries. That 15 deliveries has to be made starting Monday. But what I can do today is potentially take one or two Uber orders, this morning and raise my AR from 12 up to like 13 or 14%. Then Monday, I might not have to do 18 deliveries. I might only have to do, 16 or 17 or two less than whatever I'm going to have to do. That was the thought process. Okay. But I'm not doing, see, this is why I don't, for the most part, just don't mess with Uber anymore. This is why right here, $8, 21 miles. So there you go. Folks, I think in my market, that DoorDash and Uber both has bad offers, okay? But, as a whole, I just feel in my market that the bad orders that I see on Uber are much worse than the bad orders I see on DoorDash. I mean, come on, $8, 21 miles. So I decline that. How about $9, 17 miles going up to Hilliard? Decline. And maybe I'm doing more harm than good here if I just jump on here and decline orders. Well, I'm potentially making things worse for Monday. So I decline these. Okay. This and an Uber came in at the same time. Okay. So real quickly I saw on the Uber $10, 11 miles, and then I declined this DoorDash, which normally I would take. I would have normally taken that. $12.75, 5 mile, 9 things to shop. But I declined it Then I go back to this Uber and take a closer look at it, and it's again this Harrisburg and Mound McDonald's and delivering to the Hilltop. Both of these, having to do both of these pickup and delivery at night, and I'm no, so I decline order number 3 with Uber. It's upside down $6.09. Again, that Harrisburg and Mound decline. And then I went ahead and stopped. I went ahead and logged off Uber. I don't want to do more harm than good here. I'll wait till Monday, and no matter if it's $6 45 miles, I'll take it. I'll take however bad it is. But like I said in last night's video, supposedly I'm going to be a gold member and supposedly better offers. We'll see. We'll see. What that's guys. you're not going to want to miss Monday's video. It could be. I don't know. I still don't know if I should be doing this or not, but I'm going to do it, and we'll see just how bad it gets. I'm curious to find out. Okay, so then I get a $22 Meijer. So I decline that $12. I get a 22. So okay, and so I'm able to. After 43 minutes, I'm able to get something decent. Okay, get to Meijer at 6:52, and then they tried to do an add-on, $4 Kroger shop decline. Okay, the customer, this 16-pound bag of dog food was the only size that they did not have. They had and you see here. I sent the message. They had the 3 other sizes and no response. I didn't call because when I initially marked it as unavailable, it popped up that the customer requested a refund. But so that's why I didn't call. But I did send the messages, and I waited by the dog food for 3 minutes. And then I made my way up front, and it took me 3 minutes to find the lighters. I had to go down each and every checkout line until I found them. So that took 3 minutes, and then I just refunded the dog food and delivered at 7:22. So 39 minutes, something like that. 22.25. What was the initial? Yeah, that's what the initial offer was. $12.25 from DoorDash, $10 tip. Okay. Yeah, I went ahead and did this. 12.50, 12-mile Bob Evans going south. Let's go ahead and do it. And 21 minutes for the 12.50, 2.25 and 10.25 tip. That was pretty easy, straightforward. $41 stack shopping order. Absolutely. Only got to shop 24 things. Let's go. And get to Meijer just 10 minutes later. So there's the list for A, and then customer B, just 8 items. A couple things of meat, and and then I was kind of hoping that they would stack on a third order, and like a minute later, after I got into the store, here you go. They stack on a third order, $17.75, additional 13 miles, and just 10 things to shop. So yes. And I went and grabbed another cart for this. So I grabbed, a regular size standard cart for A and B, and then I grabbed a little cart for this customer C. Okay, finished shopping at 8:38, and I don't have some of the text messages, but there was a couple different like out of stock substitutions on 2 of the 3 customers, and they were both responsive. And then one thing that was kind of sucked a little bit, I got that ham. And I found it, and I'm going through the store and whatever, and the customer messages and asks what the price is. And I look at the tag, and whatever it said, $35 or whatever it said. And she's like, oh, no, I wanted the one that was, 89 cents a pound. You see it there on the screenshot. I was like, well, you got to give me a second. I got to, give me a couple minutes. I got to shop other stuff. I'll be back over there. So I go all the way back. Long story short on that, it was discounted, and there was a like a sale price that the tag had 2 different prices, and it was like 89 cents. It was like a $9 ham. But that was like at the very bottom. I didn't see that because it was pretty much cut off. And I just had to make sure when I got up front that it did scan at the $9, and it did. Okay. So, and then first drop off at 9:07. That was that was customer A. That had 2 cases of pop. You see them right there between the sacks and the chair. And then customer B delivered next. Okay, let's kind of move these over for a second. At 9:22. So what time did I start all this? So now, and this is going to be close to $60 for all 3 of these. So I figured if I could do all of this in like an hour and a half, which I probably didn't happen. This is probably closer to 2 hours. So 9:22, I've got 2 of them delivered. $24 from DoorDash, $4 tip, and $13 tip. Okay, and then you see, just like the original add-on offer said, from that second drop-off, I had 13 miles. That was a long drive down Alum Creek. Heck, I didn't even know Alum Creek was that long of a freaking road. Now I know. Okay. And delivered at 9:46. So this was 2 hours. 2 hours. You might, 57, $58, whatever it was. Okay, and I had signal issues, so I didn't get a pay screen. That was $12.75 and a $5 tip. Okay, I'm heading back to Zone, and I take this 1875 14-mile Meijer 10 items. Okay, let's take it. And I'm on my way to Meijer. This is like 6 minutes later. My screen kind of goes blank for a second and refreshes, and look what pops up on. Well, I should back up, and this is probably before 9:56. Let me back up. So the third drop-off customer starts sending me all kinds of text messages after the drop-off, saying that that I dropped off the wrong order. Okay, great. And I can't respond back. I'm driving. And I'm not going to be stopped anytime soon. So then a few minutes goes by to 9:56. I get that offer. I'm still driving here at 10:02 and closing in on Meijer. I think I'm at the couple stoplights before Meijer when I get that. Okay. So I'd already dropped off all of the orders. So it'd be a little bit different if I dropped off an order. I still had one in my car. Hey, you dropped off the wrong order. And then, if their order was the one in my car, then I'd turn around and, switch. But that wasn't the case. I dropped off everything. Okay. Folks, I do not think I dropped off the wrong order. Now, I can't say with 1,000% absolute certainty here, but I'm going to call it a 99.5% chance that I dropped off the correct orders at the correct locations. Okay. Customer A, I know absolutely for sure that that was correct. I double checked that. I when I arrived there, I looked at the list. Okay, this is the order you're dropping off. It had the 2 cases of pop in it. Okay, and I kind of double verified that was correct. Okay, let's go to the original. Okay, here's what we're looking at. Okay, so there's A and B. There's C. Okay, A was 100,000%. I know that was delivered to the right location. The second I get to the second drop off, that one now sometimes I shopped them. It's A, B, and then this other one is a C. And I've had it before where that's not necessarily the order that you deliver them in. Okay, so yes, I have had that before. Okay. Now at the second drop off, I didn't verify by the actual items. I verified by the item count on that one. So I pulled into the second customer. And okay, you're delivering the order with 8 items. Boom, right here. 8 items. That's the one that was in my back seat. And I know the one in the trunk was the 10 items. I know that for sure. And I delivered the 8 item order to the second stop that was calling for the 8 items. Okay. And then, like I said, I I if I had money to bet with, I bet this customer was stealing. Another thing that was, well, I don't know if this is really suspicious or not, but there was another dasher there that left right as I got there, and another shopping order was being dropped off at that third location, like I said, just before I got there. So that was just slightly kind of red flaggish. A lot of times you might see a food order and a shopping order. You don't, and I have seen it before. My number one customer, I've seen this before. 2 shopping orders delivered at the same time. So I have seen it, but in this particular case, I don't know. It just kind of raised red flags. So they mark it is the wrong order delivered, and I got a contract violation. So there's that screenshot, and then here's the other one, and I had to. It's been so long. I had to look up when my last contract violation was. That was January the 31st of 24. So we're coming up on 2 years ago was my last one. And that was, I submitted an appeal on that and it was removed. This one I'll submit an appeal as well. But really, the only thing that I can really say in my defense is, so if it was switched with another order, then why didn't the other customer report that they got the wrong order as well? It's not like any of these 3 orders was like a $300 order. That those other 2 drop-offs, it's not like, oh crap, he delivered the wrong order, but this is $400 worth of stuff here. I'm not going to say anything about this. No. No, they were all, none of them was that expensive of orders. So that whoever if, which I highly doubt, but if two drop-offs were switched, the other one would have reported wrong order delivered as well. So, and I'm also in my appeal going to, and I've done this before. Of course, it's been a long time ago, like I said, almost 2 years ago. But I'm gonna, and I don't know if a human agent receives these and works on them, but I'm going to also put in that appeal for this particular customer account to be blocked so I don't receive orders from them anymore. I've done that with other customer accounts. Number one, because I think they're stealing. And the second reason I want to do this is because this went to a trailer park that was way out of my territory. And I had to go in there. The pin position was wrong on this customer, and I literally had to drive towards the back of this trailer park and following trailer numbers until I found this customer. Really tricky. So yeah, if I'll put that in there, and hopefully a human agent sees that and takes care of that for me, and so I don't have to deliver there again. So fingers crossed. I don't know how it is anymore, but it used to be if you submit your appeal, like I said, it's like 2 years ago, if it was going to be removed, that would just take like a day or two, and then it would be removed. But the silver lining here for me, even if it doesn't get removed, well, I'm a full-time dasher now. I do this 7 days a week. So I'm assuming it's still, contract violation comes off after 100 deliveries. Well, I do 100 deliveries every week. So it's only going to stay on my stats for a week and then fall off. So, it is what it is. I was fortunate to go that long without receiving any. So it's it's a very rare thing for me. Okay, so I get to the Meijer. There's the list on this. These heaters had to be, the one heater got substituted for two smaller ones. And I still have never seen these premium carrot sticks. Never. It's like the third or fourth time I've had them in a shopping, or I've never seen these. And I always check both sections, the regular carrots and the organic. Never seen them. It's irritating. They need to take that off the, where you can't order those anymore. Delivered at 10:45. So this was a little bit less than like 50 minutes for $19.25. $3 tip on that. Gotta hurry this up. My wife's coming home soon and the dog will be going crazy. 625 Meijer, one item, and I'll just have to run it across the street. Yeah, let's do it. Ocean spray. I ran as much as I could, but the store was kind of crowded. Delivered this, had this done start to finish, 13 minutes for my 625. So 425 from DoorDash, and there it is right there. Appreciate it very much. Uh, 825 McDonald's. Let's do it. I, got this right as I'm dropping off that order. I come up to this stoplight leaving that complex, and I take a look at the list, and I'm like, oh, look at the time here, 11:19. My wife must be home. Sorry about the dog. 11:19. It's lunchtime, but this is breakfast, so I know what's about to happen. And my wife said, well, you don't know that yet. Maybe it was placed before then and the order got passed around. It's just been sitting there, so let's see. And sure enough, I get in there, there's no, that order's not sitting there. I look up on the board, it's not in the queue. And another dasher came in right just after me, checked on his order. They told him, no, that's breakfast and we can't, make it now. So, yeah, some kind of screw up where the system was letting people order breakfast after 11. And as a customer, even if you see it on there, wouldn't you just know? Okay, like if I got on to place a McDonald's order after 11 o'clock and seen breakfast times, well, I know they don't serve it after 11, so why would I still place it? See, I just think the customers should know this, but I don't know. So that was a drop. um, and $26 11 mile Meyer, 48 units. I went ahead and did this. I don't know. Let's see how I did on this time wise. Here's the list. Is the concerning thing on here? No, it's not. Yes, right here. 340 packs of water. Okay, folks, this order was huge. This is like a $220 order, and huge dollar wise and size wise. There was some. You see here, there was some oranges. They wanted just a little 1 pound bag. I only saw the 5 pound. Okay, so that mark that as unavailable. They request a refund. Look at that shopping cart. That was, you had a heavy shopping cart there. There's the three. This one on the front, that was barely on there. When I went to leave the store, that actually fell off the cart. I had to put it on top. And then there was like a 20 or 30 count of Capri Sun and these 2.5 gallons of milk, and see the vegetable oils. This was like 1,000 pounds. And then, so on the Capri Sun, it gave me the option to refund that when I saw it was unavailable. So I hit refund. Then I finished shopping, and then she sends me a message when I'm about to head to the checkout. Well, do they have any other Capri Sun? Oh no. So I head back to that aisle, take a picture of this. They only had one. I said, she said, if they have two of those, and I said, they just have one. She's like, okay, I'll take it. Okay, so I got the one Capri Sun. And so the shopping on this, how long did this, so that was a little over a half hour. So that I actually, with those substitutions and having to go back for that, I mean, that was a good shopping, that's a really good shopping time for that. Delivered at 12:45. Would have liked to have made $26 in an hour, but this was like an hour and 17 minutes, 17.75 and an 8.45 tip. And maybe the first time that I can remember, it might be the first time that I had to make two separate trips with the wagon. Yeah, there was no way all of this would have gone on the wagon. No way. Because this was the 3 cases of water, the Capri Sun, and 4 catering bags I used. So the first, and I for somebody that would have taken this order that didn't have equipment, I mean, my God. More power to people like that, the dashers that don't have equipment. My God, I don't know. That would have people trying to kill themselves, or I mean, my gosh, I'll shut up. But So I did like the one water, the Capri Sun, two catering bags, wheeled that, and I had to go through a main door and down a hallway. And then there was a kid and his mom. I handed this stuff to them, and then I had to come back out for the other two waters and the other two catering bags and wheel that through the main doors down a couple hallways. That was and the the lady was like, "Yeah, I see that this isn't your first rodeo. That when with this bags in the wagon and everything." I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty funny." An 8.45 tip on that. That's okay. My wife and I was talking about this, and we were like, "Yeah, with $15-20 is what we would have tipped on something like that. Bare minimum $15." So if I even would have done something like that to a dasher, but our apartment is a little bit different. They could back right up to our almost to our door and offload stuff, and it's really super short. So completely different than this customer. Right away, $16 12-mile target. I was a little bit concerned because, every weekend now before Christmas, after like you might as well say 11 or noon, I mean, Target and some of these other places is going to be a mob scene. I mean, that's goes without saying. So that was a concern, but I didn't have a problem. So there's the list of trash can bags and a coffee creamer. And I didn't get the shopping time, but that is only like probably 3 or 4 minutes. And I, you know, didn't really run, but got up to those checkouts as fast as I could and I was, that main aisle, I was passing just like a car passing people on the roads. I was passing customers, getting up to those self check because they could have been going to the self checkouts too, and I wanted to get as close in line as I could. But I was able to go right up to a register. I was kind of shocked because there was a line when I first walked in there, so I got really lucky. And so about 40 minutes for the 1625, 1175 and a 450 tip. Okay. Not doing a $4 shopping order, decline, acceptance rate check 46%. Then they try to stack it with a Pizza Hut. That's even worse. So decline. Here we go. And I was fine. My wife, of course, got off work earlier today, so I was fine with $170-ish. And she works a later shift tomorrow, so I figured I'll make a little bit under goal today, and then I'll probably work a little longer tomorrow and make up for today. So this right here was going to put me like at 169. So perfect. And I'll shoot down towards Tammy's. I'll get gas along the way, pick that up, go back the way I came down Broadway, deliver this. I stopped at the car wash on the way back, and then come home. Okay, pizza was ready when I got there, delivered at 144. Okay, $2 and a $6 tip. And one final screenshot. This was after I'd already gotten home and everything and was out walking the dog. That customer left an additional $2 tip. So appreciate it very much. So and that is it, folks, for today. So it was 10 deliveries for 171.49. Drove 127 miles today, so did better on miles than the last 2 days. What was Wednesday? I don't know. I don't see Wednesday's miles. Well, whatever. Uh, you see here 7 hours 44 minutes dash time, active 6 hours 12 minutes of that. Now at 5,939 lifetime DoorDash deliveries. AR raised 4 points up to 47%. And that's it for today. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll do this all again tomorrow. And as always, be sure to drive safe out there. We'll catch you at the next video. Thanks again.